look at there. Look who showed up for work tonight.
All right.
Yeah.
Welcome
Weird.
in to the show, the greatest show. In the history
You're
of the world.
coming in hot, man.
Yeah,
Like,
you are. Yeah.
Here we go. That's the best way to come in. Hot. Right there. Just rolling in, man. It's SEC After Dark. You know no other way, right? I know.
Yeah,
I know
just
You
a
don't.
little inside baseball for everybody on the preseason on the countdown that you saw. He wasn't in here until 2 seconds on that countdown. That's when Corey popped into the stream.
Yeah, it was a boom.
Literally, I just came in ready to roll, man. I was like, oh crap.
Come in like a wrecking ball.
Yes, definitely did. So
No Chris Childers calls, please.
yeah, I know, right? So we are SEC After Dark. We're presented by DeadSoxy. Do you want to support your Ole Miss NIL with the purchase of some socks? Well, you can certainly do that with DeadSoxy. They have all the colors and styles that you want: purple and gold, crimson, cream, red, black, maybe even orange, Jeb. But if you want it, they have it. They have some great exclusive styles over at DeadSoxy.com. Why should you order from DeadSoxy.com? Well, they have memberships, and you get a 25%. You get a 25% discount. It is constant. You get free shipping, and you get a free gift, guys. It's pretty freaking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So
They just got some new Quinshawn Judkins NIL socks, by the way, if anybody's interested in that. They actually look pretty good, actually.
Nice.
some Quinshawn Judkins socks. I love it. So you'll love it too. There's a great selection. You can peek right over Steve's right shoulder, right there in a box. You get a cool little box too, man. It's awesome. So you need to visit DeadSoxy.com. Order yours today. Get your exclusive membership deals. Don't delay. Do it now. DeadSoxy.com. And as always, stay soxy, my friends. And we're also presented by BetOnline.ag, your number one source for all your sports wagering needs. If you want to bet it, they have it. If you want to bet on the NBA in-season tournament, which makes absolutely no sense to me, but hey, here we are.
Like the Leagues Cup.
Yeah, something like that. But you're not playing against any other. You just break the regular season and play a tournament. I don't understand it, but you can bet on it. That's all.
It's the cash grab cup.
It really it's the cash. It's something, and you can bet on it at BetOnline.ag. They have casino games as well. All of our lines are presented by BetOnline.ag. So what you need to do is head to the website and put in the promo code Bleav. That's BLEAV to get your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline.ag. It's where the game starts. Steve, tell us about them pickles, man.
You know, it's time to get locked on pickles. Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickles, that is, offering a large variety of Cajun spice products like pickles, green beans, okra, even carrots and asparagus. Yummy. This is a family-owned company, homemade on the coast of Mississippi. Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickles has been pleasing pickle lovers for over 20 years, and now they have become the South's favorite pickle. These truly are the best pickles you will ever have. A strong dill flavor with a Cajun punch, no over sour taste. This being a small business, they try to keep the produce fresh and local from the start, keeping the final pickle product extra crispy and crunchy. You can find these new pickle products at pickledstore.com. That's pickledstore.com, or at your local Rouse's Market or other stores along the Gulf Coast. Be sure to sign up for Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickles on Facebook page and Instagram, and try these pickles, okra, and beans today. You will not be disappointed. Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickle, the South's favorite pickles. And we're serious about that. We've tried them.
We absolutely are. I'm not a pickle guy, and I liked them. How about that?
Yeah, good stuff.
Amazing. Yeah.
Got some kick to it, too. So if you better have some water nearby or something to cool your jets a little bit.
And put them in the fridge. Unlike
yes, Corey.
Yeah, put them in the fridge, guys. Don't. Put them in the fridge.
Good Corey.
Yeah. So you gotta learn not. Sometimes I have to teach you what not to do the hard way. Sometimes I gotta learn.
And don't pick Corey's picks either.
Did I do bad this week again?
Oh, you actually did pretty well. But I mean, you're in danger of climbing out of the cellar.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. I might have to do like they did in Major League and just have like peel off a layer every time off like a, you know how they did.
I just watched that the other day.
Yeah, you guys suck.
Yeah, you guys suck. they peel off the layers of the owner. Hell yeah. So we got an action-packed show for you guys. It's Georgia's the new number 1, which they really kind of should have been the whole year. But Ole Miss, New Year's 6 bowl, Missouri coming in at number 9. Like, we got some fun stuff there. We got Georgia, Tennessee this week. Our Week 12 pickle picks. We just got a lot to talk about.
The pickles. Wait.
The pick.
Week 12 pickles. No.
Week 12
we still haven't figured out exactly how to do it. I guess it's the pickle picks.
You just got to draw it out. The pickles.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's a work in progress.
But we get to figure out Texas A&M and Abilene Christian, Chattanooga and Alabama. We are ready for this week of football.
Yeah. Well, we are also ready. Jimbo Fisher made $26,000 today to not coach. So that's fun.
Was Zach Arnett's buyout?
Yeah, that's one of the worst contracts in college football.
Yeah.
Well, define worst. Worst for the school.
And it couldn't happen to a nicer school.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. For Jimbo, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. For Jimbo, dude, if I was Jimbo, I'd never 76? Coach again. $77 million.
Yeah, why? Well, and that's on top of what he's already been paid. What was it, a $95 million total contract? Why would you?
It's more than that, wasn't it?
It was like $76.8 million is what it was.
Yeah, and he's due like it's set up to where he's due like $20 million of it within 60 days of the termination. So he's going to get a check for $20 million in 60 days, and then he gets $8 million a year for the next 7 years.
Oh my God,
that's incredible.
Okay, A&M. I know you're looking for a new coach. You could give me $1 million for the next 2 years, and you can fire me after game 1. Okay, is it Ross
I'll
Bjork?
take half his contract.
Yeah,
and
Ross, Ross Bjork,
0.1% of his contract.
Yeah,
which I think is like.
And everybody remember, Ross Bjork gave Jimbo a contract extension either the last year or the year before it.
Yeah, that's where all the buyout money's coming from, because the contract extension it got astronomical. They restructured the buyout so that he wouldn't leave. Well, chokes on them.
They fired him and he gone.
Yeah.
Now, you know, I didn't think we were going to start on the coaching change immediately, but you know, A&M. This is the way the A&M wheel of suck goes, because whoever takes that job is going to go perpetually 8-4 because they wouldn't be taking Texas 8-4 otherwise.
Right.
That is true.
So they go Texas guy, big name guy, Texas name guy, big name guy. That is their circle. They go over and over again. And Jimbo was a big name guy. So I'm going to think that Mike Elko or Jeff Traylor, that's probably the leader in the clubhouse right now.
Don't do it, Mike Elko. Don't.
Yeah. I think that is the leader in the clubhouse right now.
I got a name for them. This would be a home run grand slam hire. Cliff Kingsbury. Go get him.
I hear Jimbo Fisher is a pretty good developer of quarterbacks.
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
He developed Jameis.
He did develop Jameis. Uh-huh. He also developed a really good offensive line down there.
Yeah. Jameis carried him. No, you don't think they go after Dabo? Come on, somebody's got to go after him.
Jameis should get a cut from this contract, from this buyout. There should be like agent fees.
That's true.
Jeb, what has Dabo done without a generational quarterback?
Nothing. But I'm just saying, it's obvious.
Okay,
him and Clemson are starting to sour on each other. Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked if he takes off somewhere.
Other than Nick Saban, who has done something without a generational quarterback?
There you go.
Kirby has. Well, has he had a generational quarterback? Not yet. No.
I mean, I guess
even Stetson Bennett was for them. That was a quarterback of the generation.
Yeah.
Coming into those years,
he had a generational quarterback performance, but he wasn't like.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't have the tools to get it done. But I mean, they had Matt Stafford and Aaron Murray and some guys that are really good. If you want to go back to Eric Zier, and you couldn't exactly win doing that, Stetson Bennett just had it.
I mean, Stetson Bennett was in college for a whole generation, so I mean,
he's 28 years old. He was like older. The quarterback that won the college football playoff last year was older than both of the quarterbacks that were in the Super Bowl.
I mean, that's pretty awesome.
That is great.
That is crazy.
Now that you put it that way, it's pretty awesome. And Jake, why are you talking to your mom like that?
Guys, look what she said. That's why.
Hey, guy. She said, "Hey guys, go Dogs." I see no problem with that.
Oh, I do.
I see no issues, Cindy.
I'll see you in 3 weeks.
I got to go with Jake on this
one. I see no issues, Cindy.
We don't need
Michael
that kind of
Strikes
negativity
asked,
here.
Do you think Ross gave him the extension? Ross's name was on the extension, so Ross is there to be paid to take the blame for him getting the extension.
Yeah,
just like all of that is his job. Do we think that Roger Goodell is making all these decisions in the NFL? No, he's paid to take the arrows so the owners don't get any of the blame.
Who have they announced as the interim head coach right now for Texas, or have they?
They have. It is not Bobby Petrino. They were smart. Yeah, they were smart enough not to do that because if Texas A&M put together a performance to where they beat LSU, they knew that they would have to hire Bobby. So, they got Joe Schmo to be the quarterback or the interim coach.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
But would they beat LSU with this Joe Schmo? They hire Joe Schmo?
Maybe. I mean, it's a cult. I mean,
is it James Coley? Is he the interim head coach?
No, I don't
Elijah
think so.
Robinson.
Who?
It's Elijah Robinson.
Yeah, who?
What does he coach for them before taking the interim position?
He was the game changer coordinator.
The game changer coordinator.
The article I'm reading, the first line is, some may be wondering who is interim head coach Elijah Robinson. Apparently Matt Rule likes him a lot.
It's somebody that they don't expect to get the job.
Who's that?
Yeah.
Hey, by the way,
exactly.
With them firing Jimbo and firing the staff and all that, that means that Damian Craig is going to be available.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's coming to Ole Miss.
No, I don't think so.
Is Lane Kiffin going to retain him?
Retain? Lane Kiffin's not going to A&M.
I wanted to see what you'd say.
No, that would be the worst fit in the history of bad
Stirring
fit.
that pot.
I got my spatula.
Yeah.
No, there's a question down here. If you really wanted to stir the pot,
next UCLA coach.
Yeah, that's the one that you have to play with.
Are we really stirring?
No. They don't have the money to afford him. I think Ole Miss has got too much money up there to do it. But he is a Southern California guy. He coached at USC forever and is close to the ocean.
Okay.
I think the job Ole Miss fans need to watch for Lane Kiffin is Miami. That's the job. If you want to get freaked out about a job, that's the job you need to get freaked out about.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's not the job I would have guessed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I would have guessed that
they pay stupid money. It's right on the water. He's not getting the Alabama job. They wouldn't hire him to go to Alabama.
Stranger things have happened, Jake. Right?
And you're not afraid about the state job.
I hear Sylvester.
That would be absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely hilarious. Even as an Ole Miss fan, I would have to chuckle at that if he did.
Yeah. Gosh.
Yes.
But
I see they need to turn around down there in Starkville.
Yeah. By the way, I have a video on my Locked On Ole Miss podcast channel, and anybody watching the show is basically titled "Why Ole Miss Will Bury Mississippi State Thursday Night," and it's already up to 7,000 views almost.
Nice.
So well done.
Yeah. I've had a really good November. I mean, I'm not going to get paid for this month until January, but if I'm south of $4,500 for this month, I will be surprised.
Wow.
Okay. All right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where are you getting all the views from?
That is Georgia Bump, man. Four out of my last 5 videos is over 5,000.
Oh, you're welcome, Steve.
Yeah. That Georgia Bump is real. And all I had to do is predict Ole Miss to beat Georgia, and people have been barking in my comments all week.
Yeah, that's what Georgia people do is bark.
Yeah, it's just and it's fantastic. It's like, man, okay, I'll play them again next year. Check.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jake, we're gonna bark in like 3 weeks too.
Good luck with that.
You ready for that? I don't think you're ready.
Hey.
You're not ready for it.
Hey, Jake.
I'm very ready.
If the team that showed up now, this team has only showed up one time this year, but if that team shows up against Alabama, there's not a thing you can do about it, bud.
Yeah, Georgia hadn't played a defense like Alabama's yet.
You haven't played an offense like Georgia's.
I ain't worried about their offense.
No, that's the secret sauce on this Georgia football team. This is an offensive team.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it.
You're right. It is.
Yeah, it has the defense that Kirby's famous for, but imagine like 10 times of the offense that Alabama had, and that's what's over there. Carson Beck's good. He's back there playing 7-on-7, and it's the best offensive line that you're going to see.
They didn't touch him. Literally did not touch him.
Yeah, he actually literally laughed at Ole Miss after the game.
Joe, take care of business this week.
All this talk and what you should be focusing on is Tennessee because Joe Milton got there and almost got it out.
You almost got through it.
That was close. That was close.
You almost got through it.
Joe Milton threw a 40-yard touchdown this week.
Throw 40-yard deep routes. You'll be all right.
Yes.
I remember one
pass interference call so we can get on you.
One play against Missouri when I was watching. It was like maybe a 5-yard out, and he missiled it in there, and the dude dropped. I was like, well, yeah, because my God, it was missiled in there.
By the way, Jake's mom is coming off the top rope, by the way.
Yeah, seriously.
Quit showing her comments and block her.
Oh,
I love this.
How in your household is there Alabama, Auburn, and Georgia now coming into it?
That's quite the
she
household.
ain't coming in.
Yeah, I thought you were I thought your house was in Alabama, not Georgia.
It is in Alabama.
Yet 2 Georgia teams. Oh,
yeah, seriously, the West Georgia.
Your neighborhood's a suburb of Athens, I presume.
No. No.
Athens reaches like one little arm all the way out to your house.
And remember, if you look at the picture, Jake's thing, he is obviously in AMA mode right now. So if you have any questions for Jake, feel free to ask.
I don't even know what AMA stands for, but okay.
Ask me anything.
Oh, I got you.
Now look at your screen behind you.
AMA. I feel that now. Okay, I got you.
You gotta swing your camera around there.
Then I wouldn't be on my face.
Well, you move your face too there.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, before we get started and everything, last week before the Ole Miss Georgia game, somebody played basically an intro and highlight to the Ole Miss Georgia game from 1990, and it was on TBS, and they had the GOAT intro. There's no intros in college football today that even comes close to what that was. And I am so sad because I think we have fallen behind as a society.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
It was completely animated with all the mascots playing football. Colonel Rebs for Ole Miss was refereeing, and the Commodore was out there on the side. He's had his headset, being there, and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't know who won.
Sounds pretty good, yeah.
But yeah, it was really good. The music was good. Yeah, I'm Team TBS for the next SEC contract. Forget Disney.
Yeah. Hey,
by the way, what Fox is doing right now is stupid. And people like Colin Cowherd, just because they're too poor to afford the SEC, they're going to try and make the Big Ten's going to be the deal. No, it's not. No, it's not. The reason so many people are watching it is because they're hoping that Michigan loses because they are the biggest cheaters that's played in the college football ranks since the 1980s.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason people are watching that game.
It's a mess of a conference, man. Iowa's your premier Western Division team. They're gonna get absolutely slaughtered in the Big Ten championship.
That defense is pretty legit. No, their offense is garbage.
Hey, by the way, right now in the bowl projections, it's Ole Miss and Iowa in the Citrus Bowl.
Oh wow, that'd be a fun one.
Yeah. Ole Miss goes up 14, it's over.
Yeah, pretty much. You go up by 3, it's over.
That'd be 1st to 14 wins.
Yeah.
Yes. Somebody from the College Football Hall of Fame did a highlight. It's like Hayden Fry, remembering him, and they were showing like Iowa's offense, and it's like Iowa still memorializes him with their offense today.
Oh,
Yep.
gosh. Yeah.
You know, Kurt Francis like I slot left.
Yeah.
All right. 494. Z post on one. All right.
Coming up
494.
with secret plays. Can't even run a damn screen pass.
Mm-hmm.
Your dummy O's can't run a simple draw. You got secret formations? Love that movie. We need to break that one down.
Probably should. Once we hit the off season, we'll get into some of that stuff.
I don't even have to watch it again. I can recite the whole thing. That'll be a fun show.
A 10. She's a 10.
10. Up 10. You know the rest. All right.
I'm sorry.
Now we're down this wormhole.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. I really don't hate it. But okay, y'all are going to have to help me out on this one. Who's that?
That is the Mississippi State writer that wrote a book about Ole Miss whenever the investigation happened the last time.
Oh Lord.
Oh, yeah.
He also looks like he's on meth.
Oh, that'd be fun.
And I'm not 100% sure, but he might have been.
So Walter White?
No, he not dealing meth.
Well, we don't know that.
Yeah. It's rumors. Everybody talks about all that. Whenever you hear people talk about Rose Bowl, whenever they refer to a writer as Rose Bowl, they're talking about him because he said that Mississippi State was going to the Rose Bowl, which was the BCS championship game that year, did a prediction of them going 11-1, and they proceeded to drop a 3-8.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah. So he kind of earned that nickname. But I will say this about the guy. He is an absolute marketing genius. And he has built an empire in that fan base at the moment.
Maybe he should host a Locked On Mississippi State podcast.
They tried. They tried to get him. Seriously. He said no. Mississippi State's weird. You had Bo Bounds that did it for like 3 days, who was a radio personnel in Jackson. It was just too much work. Yeah, here we go. He's actually a convicted felon.
Golly.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't making it up. That was no rivalry thing. I mean, it's just a whole bunch of stuff. There's layers upon layers of this Egg Bowl thing.
I see. And we're going to see it all play out on Locked On Ole Miss, aren't we?
They just watched the video on the Locked On site about the Ole Miss and State rivalry and why revenge is actually coming this way. And why this Egg Bowl will be the actual revenge for what they did 10 years ago.
Interesting.
Because they're completely irrelevant. We're getting ready to go to an Access Bowl, and it completely didn't work, and it absolutely backfired on them.
Hell yeah. I'm excited. Speaking of backfiring, Georgia, Tennessee this weekend. I don't know what's backfiring, but something's backfiring.
Tennessee offense.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the only way it backfire would be like 40 yards backwards down the field.
That's what's just possible.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible, Joe Milton.
But Joe Milton can throw an orange 100 yards.
He can also throw it through the side of a ship. You ever heard that? You could throw a strawberry through a warship or whatever.
A battleship, yeah.
Do a battleship, something like that. Do a warship. Show me your war face.
Oh, no. We ain't. Nope.
Not going there, Steve?
Nope, not going there.
Not a Full Metal Jacket fan?
Miss Cindy is all up in the comments tonight.
Cindy. Georgia
all up in the comments.
Oh, she is. Oh, she is off.
I'm sorry, Jeb.
I don't want to say ban somebody's mom, but no.
I've already said banner.
Fine.
Yeah. No. Go ahead and get rid of her.
Like, I know Tennessee's in the season a little rough. I get it. A lot of injuries, a lot of problems.
Ain't happening, bro.
Yeah, Lane's not going to Texas A&M. Be the worst fit in the history of worst fits.
Neither is Dan Lanning. So let's get that one out of your.
Yeah, that's not going to happen either.
Neither is.
I heard that.
There was another one too.
Dion.
Yeah, Dion turned him down too.
God.
Jamie Chadwell turned down Mississippi State today, which he
had
had
to. Yeah. He doxed himself.
No, that tweet was a fake, but it did lead to people asking him all the questions about it.
Yeah,
Rick, man, it doesn't matter how much money they have. He makes $10 million a year. A&M's not going to pay that much more that he has to go live in the asshole of the world.
New Jersey?
He don't want to be no part of no cult.
Dallas.
Yeah. He would make fun of Reveille. He'd make fun of the marching band. He'd make fun of the male cheerleaders, and A&M. They wouldn't do. They wouldn't hire him because of that. Yeah, this isn't even a Lane saying no thing. They're not going to offer him the money.
No,
because he would. Yeah.
Because
there's no way like this is
Yeah.
going to go unscathed with Lane Kiffin.
And actually, he said last week that Oxford was like twice as good to live in than College Station. Like this before the job was even open, he was taking shots at them. So
he's been taking shots at them since the game.
Oh yeah.
He was trying to egg on that whole Jimbo Fisher, Nick Saban thing.
Hey, you got Jimbo paid.
Which was hilarious.
Yeah,
that's true.
Jimbo paid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cassidy, taking care of mom-in-law.
Oh, good God.
Jake, be nice to your mother. Get him, Cassidy. See, I have no problem. I have no problems here.
Yeah, there we go about that. That's another.
Don't forget about the North Korean band.
Oh,
that's A&M's band.
Mm-hmm. Colt.
Oh wow.
Yeah. There's 4 jobs that if you're an Ole Miss fan, listen to this. If you want to pay attention to Lane, because I don't think Lane is going to be offered the Alabama job. So
is Miami open?
Yeah, when Miami comes off and open, worry about that. I think Lane would be interested in the Florida job, but I've been told that Florida's not interested in Lane.
Mm-hmm.
UCLA, because he's a Southern Cal, he has Southern Cal roots and his family's out there.
I don't think they're going. I think
they can't pay enough. Nope. So the Venn diagram of places he can actually go and places that can pay him the same thing he's making now, it's not very high. But I think that Miami job would be the one. If you want to worry about one, if that's what you want to do, that would probably be the one you need to worry about.
No, he's going back to Florida Atlantic because he wants to work with Chris Carter as his new executive
game
director.
Changer.
Yeah, game changer coordinator. Oh my God! Like I just I can't get over that. Like why do you have to be so cheesy? And it's not working. Oh, is it time? Is it that time?
Yeah, it's about that time.
Oh, wow. Jeb, before we get there, Jeb, what's going on with this Tennessee game? What's going to happen here?
Yeah,
what's going to happen? Tell me
some
about
pointers. I look.
Corey needs to do his picks real quick.
Tennessee has lost all their wide receivers.
Why do you think
just kind of patched in here? I think that if they're smart, I mean, we lost our top cover corner. We've lost our linebacker, our top linebacker. Well, not our top linebacker, maybe our second one, but still. I don't know. I don't see any way they can slow down Georgia, especially if Georgia plays like they did last week. Good Lord. I'm starting to dread this game now, and I was not before. I don't know. I don't really have a whole lot of hope for this game. Maybe they'll lean on their rushing attack. Maybe if it plays better this week than it did against Missouri. But I don't know what else to tell you besides that. It's going to be a prayer. If our best team shows up and your worst one does, it might be a good game.
Yeah, I mean, I think the
just
only
enjoy
thing
it now.
I'll have going for you is it's going to be at home. And the fans are going to be in a frenzy after last year. But then again, after last week, are your fans really going to be that much into it?
I think with it being the last big game of the season, yes. It'll be fun. It'll be exciting until somewhere in the third quarter, and then a lot of them will probably go home. But I should be more positive than that. Who knows?
We'll see.
Enjoy it now, though. 2 years. 2 years.
I'm thinking it's going to be 2 weeks in a row that Carson Beck just doesn't get touched.
Yeah, I mean our rush pass rush is actually pretty good, but
Ours was top 5 in the nation.
oh well, there you go. So ours is one of the top ones. James Pierce is one of the best pass rushers in the SEC. He's really good, but at the same time, it's not going to do much good because our secondary can't cover for very long. So they won't have time to get to him. If your guy gets a couple of seconds, he'll be able to hit somebody downfield. That's been
Brock Bowers, who is a cyborg.
Yeah, we don't have anybody to cover.
That man's an alien.
Yeah,
I'm convinced. I am convinced he's not human.
And a healthy Kendall Milton changes the game for Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 young linebackers that I think would be good at covering him, except they're both true freshmen. You just can't put them on Brock Bowers. That's not fair.
You can't put anybody on Brock Bowers. He's going to
That's
embarrass
true.
you.
That's true. So
he was on one leg. Did you see the juke move, Steve, that he pulled on one leg?
Yeah. So believe me, I was paying attention. By the way, I watched the game in 4K. No commercials. They just go to a wide shot, like you can just going down of the stadium, and it was awesome. It was amazing. I recommend everybody watching.
Recommend
4K.
what?
What?
yeah, like,
YouTube
how'd you
TV.
find the 4K?
Oh,
Yeah, YouTube TV's got it. That's what I got.
okay.
Yeah, I'm sure you've seen it with Alabama's been on there probably a couple of times, and it's 4K. Watching a football game in 4K is like the first time you saw a game in high def.
What about watching it in 56K with startup discs?
Yeah, probably won't work as well.
Yeah, is that how I watched the Blue Bonnet Bowl, Corey? Oh, sorry.
I will say
way before the Blue Bonnet Bowl.
I would say YouTube TV also gives you sometimes an option of skipping the ads and you just watch like the ocean. There's like a view of the ocean or some kind
For
of
your moment of zen.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Between this war with your mom, you're probably gonna need a little moment of zen.
I ain't got no war with my mom. She just needs to quit saying that crap.
Which, by the way, the voice of God, Becky, she's not going to miss again because I'm leaving this up with her sitting one game above Corey on picks.
I'm about to pass her. She's about to be in last place this week. All right, Here we go. Let's speaking of picks, Steve.
Picks.
Our lines are brought to you by betonline.ag, the number one source for all your sports wagering needs, and going to help me get out of last place. Steve.
It's time to get locked on pickles. Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickles, that is, offering a variety of Cajun spice products like pickles, green beans, okra, even carrots and asparagus. They are a family-owned company, homemade on the coast of Mississippi. Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickle has been pleasing pickle lovers for over 20 years, and they have become the South's favorite pickle. These are truly the best pickles you will ever have. A strong dill flavor with a Cajun punch, no over sour taste. This being a small business, they strive to keep the produce fresh and local from the start, keeping the final pickle product extra crisp and crunchy. You can find these pickle products online at pickledstore.com. That is the pickledstore.com, or at your local Rouse's Market or other southern stores along the Gulf Coast. Be sure to like the Stewart's Cajun Dill product on Facebook and Instagram. Try these pickles, okra, or beans today. You will not be disappointed. Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickles. It's the South's favorite pickle.
All right. So, pickle picks, here we go. Our first two, we're going to breeze right through these because they have no line on them just yet. They'll probably have a line come Saturday, but as of this moment, they have no line. So it's Chattanooga, Alabama, Abilene Christian, and Texas A&M with their interim coach. It's all unanimous. We're picking Alabama and Texas A&M. So not going to even get into that one. Jake, what do you think? What do you predict the line is going to be when it comes out finally?
Probably 30-something, I would imagine, but I think Alabama can cover it easily.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's why we all picked Alabama. All right, so our first real game of this whole thing is the Mustard Buzzards, as Steve.
Mustard Buzzards,
as you like to affectionately call them. The Southern Miss Golden Eagles are traveling to Starkville to take on the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Mississippi State 14-point favorites at a game where they just fired their coach. Since I'm in last place,
after getting dog walked by A&M.
They got dog walked by A&M. Yeah. So,
yeah.
And it's funny. He got A&M's coach fired and got fired himself in the process. So I'm last. So I'm going to go first. I'm
taking right with the world.
Not for long. All right. I'm taking Southern Miss here. Because Mississippi State they're in shambles right now. They're in a really, really bad place. Steve probably knows more about how truly bad of a place they're in. But I'm taking Southern Miss here. If they don't win, they're going to at least cover. It's going to be one of those like head scratcher games. So I'm going to go ahead and hedge my bets here. Take Southern Miss, maybe even to win outright, possibly. Jeb.
Yeah, I'm going to agree on that one. Actually, normally I think I would take Mississippi State in this situation, but the poor team, like I said, right after you just lost your coach or fired him, not lost. I have to be careful with Mississippi State because they did actually lose a coach, but since this one was fired, I just don't. They've just been such a mess. Southern Miss isn't a great team, but because I think what are they like 3-7? They've only won 3 games now, but at the same time, are they the ones I'm trying to look at? Because yeah, they're the ones that they've won their last couple, so they are at least heating up at the right time. I still think Mississippi State will win, but I don't think they'll cover. I'm taking Southern Miss to cover.
Jake?
Yeah, we're taking Southern Miss as well to cover. Mississippi State's just awful right now. And, Zach Arnett really wanted to probably keep his job. He should have kept this same offense that Mike Leach ran and then start recruiting his players to do a transition. But you had the players there that ran that air raid, and it was fairly successful. And it just cost him his job. So, they're reeling right now. Southern Miss, I know they're 3-7, but they played Appalachian State really well. They did get beat, but they started, they won the last couple. So like Jeb mentioned, so I'm thinking Southern Miss to cover. I'm not sure they can win, but they can at least keep it within 10.
All right.
And Becky, the voice of God, takes Southern Miss. And I'm going to go with Southern Miss too. And this is my reasoning behind it. I think Southern Miss is going to cover. This might be a game that Mississippi State wins late, but Southern Miss does have the ability to win outright. I think what we need to pay attention to is, does Southern Miss get off to a quick start? Because if that happens, you have major quit watch on Mississippi State's board. We've seen these coaching changes after that. Whenever something goes bad, they stop playing and start playing out the motions. That can also affect the game that's coming up 5 days later. I think that Southern Miss, they're either going to cover. I think they have a shot to win it outright.
Trap game, huh? All right. Very, very cool. So feel free, like I said, to participate in the chat if you're watching along. Our next game, Louisiana Monroe travels to Vaught Hemingway to take on Ole Miss. Ole Miss 37.5-point favorites. And I'm buying that partially because ULM is pretty terrible. And also, I think it doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. What's the status of Jackson Dart?
He's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, he's practicing. It wasn't a collarbone. It was a shoulder, but it was a non-throwing shoulder.
Okay, good. So definitely taking Ole Miss minus 37.5 here. I think they're an explosive offense, top 5 pass rush in the country. Don't let the Georgia game fool you. Ole Miss is a really, really, really good team, and so I think they cover this with ease.
Mm-hmm.
Jeb?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you there. There's some big spreads coming up here that I'm not feeling good about, but Ole Miss, I just don't think they'll have that much trouble scoring a lot on ULM. They've won their first 2 games of the season and then just nothing since. They've just been terrible. So I'm definitely taking Ole Miss to cover this.
Jake?
Yeah, we're taking Ole Miss as well. I think Ole Miss is going to score at will in this game, and probably may hang a 60 burger on them, and it's not going to be close at all. So give me Ole Miss.
60 burger with cheese, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Becky is taking ULM. That is a lot of points. That's probably her reasoning behind that. And Ole Miss is probably just trying to get to the Mississippi State game. I think it's a problem for Louisiana Monroe that Ole Miss needs style points right now. And you have to put it on them. You have to put it on Mississippi State. So I think ULM is going to face the brunt of it. This could be like a 52-3 type game. So we'll see exactly how that goes. But I'm taking Ole Miss. Becky's taking ULM.
After that Georgia game, I could see that them wanting to look good for the committee. So yeah,
Yeah. I mean, they got to get the taste out of their mouth, man. I mean, it was just pure domination there. But
oh yeah, it wasn't a team beating Georgia that night. Speaking of which,
speaking of Georgia, they got a pretty important game here, CBS game against Tennessee in Knoxville. Tennessee coming off the heels of a bad loss to Missouri where they couldn't stop Connor Schrader. But then again, who can? That dude is legit too.
Cody Schrader.
Cody Schrader, yeah.
Connor.
There's not much difference than Connor and Cody, but yeah.
Well, they can't stop Connor Schrader either, whoever that is.
Yeah, same church, different pew.
Yeah, so Cody Schrader. Cody Schrader. And then his long-lost brother, Connor. I don't know. I don't know who the hell Connor Schrader is, but he's probably a hell of a running back too. But Georgia's 10.5-point favorites on the road. And I feel like the way Georgia's been playing the last couple of weeks, it's kind of a low spread, but I like it because I think they could definitely cover that. I think they beat Tennessee by at least 2 touchdowns. This game could get ugly, especially if Dejon Edwards and Kendall Milton get cranking.
Yeah, this is the first week in our picks, and I'm not going to take the Vols. I don't want it to sound like I'm just being really negative about them. I really still like Coach Heupel. I love what they're doing there. This just wasn't our year, and I knew it wasn't going to be at the beginning of the year. There was a lot of hope that maybe they could pull it out, but it didn't. 8-4 is still a good record for them, so that's what I'm rooting for. But you never know. So I 10.5. Nah, I don't think Tennessee's going to be able to cover that. I'm taking Georgia.
Jake?
Yeah, we're taking Georgia. Tennessee only put up 7 points against Missouri, and Georgia put up 31. So it could get ugly. Unless, Milton hits a couple of 40-yard bombs and gets a couple of quick scores, it could happen. But I don't know, Willie. That's the key. So
there you go.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Becky, by the way, as she's been taking weird picks and doing that because either she wants to finish last, but basically she's doing the Lane Kiffin thing to where she wants to take real things so she can hopefully get them all right and look like a genius. So she's taking Georgia this weekend. So that's pretty cool. I'm taking Georgia too. Yeah, y'all thought I was going to say Tennessee, but no. She's crazy. She's not insane.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So clean sweep of Georgia. Sorry, Jeb. Hate to do it to you.
It's okay.
Really. All right. So our next game, Auburn. This is an interesting spread here. Auburn hosting New Mexico State, who is now bowl bound under Jerry Kill.
Jerry Kill's done a hell of a job down in Las Cruces.
Would you say that he's killing it?
He
is.
He did a good job.
He has a plethora of sweaters.
He done a good job at Minnesota too for his
health problems. Yeah,
He
had Minnesota going. So he's a good coach. I just hate that it happened. He's in a good situation in New Mexico State. No, hardly any pressure down there. I don't believe so. But they are 23.5-point underdogs at Auburn. That's a weird one, but I'm taking Auburn here just because I think they're going to rush their way to a 24-point game. I think they're good enough running the ball, and their defense is pretty sporty at times. And I think they'll get this one.
Well, and I thought about that too. This spread just kind of kills me a little bit. I think when New Mexico State, because I think they run the ball really well as well. So I don't think they're going to run it as well as they have been on Auburn as they have other teams. But at the same time, I feel like this is going to be one of those games that starts off real low scoring and real slow for a good hunk of the game, and then that SEC talent will take over in the end, and Auburn will run away with it. The question is, how far will they run away with it? And just with them, I think basically running out the clock and really kind of looking more toward the Iron Bowl next. I'm going to say that New Mexico State actually does cover here, just barely.
All right. Jake.
Oh, I am taking New Mexico State. Cassidy's taking the barn, of course. I'm like Jeb. With the Iron Bowl looming, Auburn can probably start out slow because they're overlooking New Mexico State, and will have to claw their way back in the second half. But it may be tied in the second half. They might be leading by 3. But can they get 24 points in the second half, or at halftime? They'll be up at halftime. But can they get 24 points in the second half to cover? I don't think so. If it is that case, so I'm thinking New Mexico State.
Becky is going to take New Mexico State, and I think the way in this game, 38-14 covers for Auburn, and everybody here could see this game finishing 38-14. So the question remains: can New Mexico State make it 38-17, which obviously would not cover? But I'm going to take Auburn, and I think the defense is going to stand up, and they're doing really good against bad teams, but we all remember how anemic you were against good teams.
I mean, they was anemic against California.
Yeah.
I mean,
they were afraid to throw the ball, and now all of a sudden, oh, by the way, did y'all see that Hugh Freeze was talking about every time there's a good play, Hugh Freeze called it. Every time there's a bad play, it was the offensive coordinator.
It was
pay attention to that.
Yeah.
That's been true for a long time with him. And the Gus Bus, who absolutely rolled Oklahoma State last week. That was pretty funny. Sidebar.
Did y'all know that John Rice Plumlee played the piano?
There we go.
Yeah, would have never guessed that. Would have never known that. Thank you to Gary Danielson and Brad Nestler for giving us those nuggets every Saturday they were on CBS. Okay, speaking of every Saturday being on CBS, two teams that have not been on CBS a whole lot. Florida at Missouri. Florida traveling to Missouri. Florida licking their wounds here. They're staring deeply at a 5-7 season. They got Missouri and Florida State left on the schedule. Not good for the Gators. Missouri 11.5-point favorites. I'm going to buy it because Cody, Connor, Logan, Tanner Schrader, whichever Schrader is going to run.
We're going to go with Tanner Schrader. That for whatever reason that feels like that's the right one.
Whichever Schrader lines up against Florida is going to feast, right? They're not going to be able to stop them. They couldn't stop Dejon Edwards. They're not going to be able to stop Cody Schrader. Brady Cook is going to light them up, and I think Florida's going to lose and lose big. So give me Mizzou.
Yeah, both of these teams are teams that were disappointing losses for Tennessee. I don't want to even watch this game, but I'll be honest with you. When I did watch the games against Tennessee, I felt like Missouri was legit. Florida was not. I'm going to take Missouri. I think they can cover this against Florida.
And Jack,
Corey,
you mentioned that Florida's looking at a 5-7 season. They got their backs against the wall. They need a win in the next 2 weeks, and you got Missouri and Florida State on the horizon. I mean, when your back's against the wall, you come out swinging. So I'm going to take Missouri to cover this easily, and
they can swing all they want.
Too.
You got to actually hit. That's the problem.
Yeah,
they can swing all. They can swing all they want to. They're going to punch themselves out.
Yeah. So I'm Missouri's going to cover this easily. They'll probably win by 21, 24 points.
Yeah. And then Florida State will beat the
brakes off of them.
Yeah. Becky is taking Missouri because she is a stickler for a favorite or an underdog. Depends on how random she is that day. I'm taking Florida just simply, and the reason behind it is I just want Florida to win this game because it would make the New Year's 6 argument a little bit easier.
Steve is picking out a necessity again. Here we go. This will be fun.
I mean, Birmingham Bowl bound if Florida wins this game.
Oh, yeah. Either them or South Carolina or –
yeah.
I mean, Auburn's probably Duke's Mayo Bowl, right?
Yeah, right now.
Who?
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Auburn.
Really?
Yeah, they're looking at 7-5.
Didn't realize it was that good for them. Okay.
So yeah, Music City Bowl, Duke's Mayo Bowl. Yeah.
Well, speaking of
yes, Billy's job is in jeopardy. By the way, Michael.
I don't think they're going to fire him at 5-7. I really don't. The recruiting class they got coming in, unless they just completely dismantle that, I don't think they fire him. However, speaking of a team that may
kind of getting dismantled anyway.
Yeah, who knows? All right. Speaking of a coach that's probably going to get fired, they're asking him about the Starkville stuff, and he may need to do it out of necessity so that he can land his next job. That is Shane Beamer, and they host Kentucky. This game's basically a pick 'em. 1.5 points in favor of the road Wildcats. I'm taking Kentucky here, even though they got shellacked last week by Alabama. That's not going to deter me from picking them here. I think they shellac them in the first half and definitely shellac South Carolina in the second half. And I think it's going to be brutal. I think it's going to be ugly. Give me the Wildcats.
Yeah, I'm with you. This is basically the same spread that Tennessee and Missouri had last week, and I didn't really understand why it was that close. It's the same with this week, except the away team's going to come in and just kill the home team this time. I think Kentucky definitely beats South Carolina pretty handily in this one.
Yeah, as a coach, you can't really – I mean, you have to plan for injuries, but at this point, I think South Carolina is just pulling guys out of the stands to play, at their offensive line right now because I think they're down to like fourth or fifth, maybe even sixth deep in their offensive line because everybody's injured. I mean, you can't really – you got to be prepared for that, but they didn't have a lot of depth there to begin with. So, they're struggling right now. And I really like Shane Beamer. He has changed that program around, but you can't have a losing season your third year. I think he's there been 3 years. And in your third year, you're gonna get on the hot seat pretty quick. So give me Kentucky. The Kentucky's coach, I can't let his name slip my mind.
Mark Stoops.
Yeah, what he's done at that program. He's built them up. They're usually an 8 to 9 win team every year. It's really incredible what he's done at Kentucky. Yeah. So
the consistency he's given them has been incredible.
Exactly.
The question is, when Kirk Ferentz retires after the Citrus Bowl, does Mark Stoops go to Iowa?
Good point.
No.
You sure? He's an Iowa boy.
Yeah, he is.
I don't know if he does. I don't think he does.
Yeah. The heartstrings, the hometown, all of that.
I think Kentucky, if they want him bad enough, they'll pay him.
Yeah, John Calipari's like, just go to Iowa. We're good. I need a new basketball practice facility for the fourth time in 6 years.
Kentucky better work on that basketball program, or John Calipari's going to be gone.
Thought he was going to go to Texas. So yeah, Steve.
What do we do? Becky is going with Kentucky. I'm going to go with Kentucky as well. I mean, it's basically a pick 'em. I think Kentucky's a better football team than South Carolina. I do think at the end of the year, South Carolina is due for that weird game to where they just completely go off. It's either against Kentucky or against Clemson, but we haven't seen that happen this year. So
it's usually against Vandy.
Yeah. I mean,
Michigan did give them the signs this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not buy tickets.
Yeah, which by the way, Connor Stallion's not doing a expense report means he got the money from somewhere.
Your point.
He got the money from somewhere. Where did he get the money from? You're going to tell me somebody that's bringing home roughly $38,000 a year are buying 50-yard line tickets at all these football games on both sides of the field
and flying there and lodging?
Yeah, come on.
Not a chance.
Yeah. Come on. And it's like, not
a chance.
That's ridiculous.
But anyway, give me Kentucky. Becky takes Kentucky.
All right. Well, we got 2 more games left here. FIU travels to Arkansas. They are 29.5-point underdogs.
Are they going on the Polar Express?
They are.
Sam Pittman might at the end of this game.
Yeah, obviously, I don't think FIU is going to win this one, but I do think they lose. There's way too many points. I think they lose by 27 points. That's a cover. So I'm taking FIU. The Golden Panthers and Butch Davis.
No.
Unless Arkansas comes out and have the game like they did against Florida.
Mike McIntyre, yes. I think FIU covers this thing. Go ahead, Jeb.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just this is one of those big spreads I just don't feel good about just because I don't see Arkansas really scoring that many points against too many people. Now, it could happen with FIU. I mean, I think the spread would have been covered last week against MTSU. Actually covered it against them, beat them like 40-6. But Arkansas has just been so bad, and now they're knocked out of any kind of bowl eligibility. It's not going to happen. I just feel like they're kind of done for the season. So I'm going to say FIU covers.
Watching a few weeks ago that Arkansas-Florida game, you felt like, okay, Arkansas, they got rid of their offense coordinator. They look a lot better. And then last week, that team just looked like it just had given up on the season. And they played like garbage against Auburn. So FIU, I don't think they can win, but keeping them, from score. I don't think Arkansas can score 30 at this point. So give me FIU over this, and Cash is taking FIU as well.
Yeah, it's a situation. Becky's taking FIU. I don't think Arkansas could cover this line against air, honestly. This game feels like at most it's 24-0. Arkansas's defense is pretty good, but they just can't seem to score. We'll see what happens. This Arkansas team reminds me of the episode of South Park where they're playing Little League and both teams are like competing to see who can lose so they can have their summer back. I thought this was America episode, the Randy Marsh episode.
Yeah, just want to be good.
Yeah, you just want it over with. And I think Arkansas is there. And I think FIU is going to – I'll put it like this. If FIU scores one time, fumble, short field, however you do it, field goal or touchdown, Arkansas cannot cover.
Yeah.
That is true. All right. And our last game, LSU hosts Georgia State. LSU's 31.5-point favorites in a game in which they need style points as well for Jaden Daniels because he is still in the Heisman race.
He should be number one, but he's not.
He should be.
He's still in the Heisman race. He's going to prove to why he should be number one. In this game against Georgia State, I don't know what you really have left to prove. I mean, he's proven enough to me, but they still feel the need to do that. So I think they're going to roll Georgia State. This one's going to be a bloodbath, unfortunately.
Michael Penix is a B-, Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I agree with you. This is another one of those big spreads, and normally I would be hesitant to pick against it, but LSU's offense is playing really well. Georgia State, they started off, I think, like 6-1 on the season, but they've just tanked the last 3 games. They've just gotten worse and worse, it looks like. So I don't know if they're just done or what's going on. If they're holding out for they'll just throw everything at their bowl game and they're not worried about the rest of them. I don't know. But I feel like LSU is going to put up some big numbers on them. So I'm going to take them to cover that spread.
Yeah, we're taking LSU as well. Georgia State's looked really good this year, but against LSU and Jaden Daniels, I mean, he's like Steve said, he should be number one in the Heisman poll. I don't care about the win-losses. It's given to the best player in college football, and he is the best player in college football at this point. So I think they win this easily. They may put up a 60 burger as well.
Yeah, Becky's taking Georgia State. Obviously, this is one of those random things where she's just being different. I'm taking LSU. I think that LSU is going to score. They're going to score a lot. And Jaden Daniels had like 650 yards of total offense, which like Archie Manning had a record in 1969 of 540 yards, and that stood until Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
And this broke that record by 100 yards. Give the kid the Heisman.
Yep.
Seriously.
Yeah, that's I'd say that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd say that's pretty good.
Corey, when you lead us out of picks, I got a question for everybody before we leave.
All right.
Okay.
That's our last pick. So so ask away, fire away.
Colorado's got to win 2 more games to be bowl eligible, and they have Washington State and Utah.
Nope.
Can they do it?
Nope.
Washington. They'll beat Washington State.
They'll beat Washington State. Utah.
They'll get curb stomped by Utah.
Probably, yeah.
They're just too small up front. They're not.
Yeah.
They're just outmatched.
Yeah.
I mean, they play hard. But they're just outmatched.
Washington State's fraud. They turned out to be frauds.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Because Wisconsin turned out to be frauds, and like they whipped. Like everybody was like, "Oh my God, they beat the hell out of Wisconsin."
Hey,
all these wins the Pac-12 had in the can, they talked about how good they were. All the teams they beat turned out to be frauds.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oregon State looks really good.
Or non-existent. Like TCU was just never.
Yeah.
TCU's not a fraud because they've been irrelevant all year.
That was irrelevant last year.
That RJ something from Fox News that just was completely on Deion's jock until they just got scrubbed by Oregon.
Yeah.
And then you just like I had to mute him because he was so annoying.
Yeah.
It's like, are you Deion's personal PR guy? Oh, wait. You're just getting excited because Fox has the Pac-12 rights. Fox is going so hard to prop up any conference other than the SEC.
Because
And
they know the
SEC
SEC is a giant, and they will crush
Yeah.
them if they don't. So they have
Well,
to. They
can't
have to
afford-
go. They have to go
Yeah.
way out in left field to do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. This is my advice to you, Fox. Don't be poor.
Prop up your own conference and
Yeah.
make the best of what
Well,
you can make.
Let them prop up the Pac-2 next year.
It's gonna be a hell of a
Oh,
conference.
good for Oregon State and Washington State for getting the rights to all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because this is what the Oregon State and Washington State's going to do. They're about to raid the American and the Mountain West Conference, and they're going to create a pseudo G5 super conference with the Pac-12 branding that's established. Because Washington State and Oregon State's probably going to get access to all of the infrastructure as it sits right now. So good for them after the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be hilarious if this new, whatever they're going to call it, super conference just completely annihilates the Big Ten?
Right now, they're calling them the 2-pack.
Nice.
The 2-pack. Love it.
I'd like to see them pull in Fresno State. Fresno State, I don't know what conference they're in, but I mean they're always good. So put a little bit of money behind them. They may become
San Diego State.
San Diego State, yes.
San Diego State, Boise State,
Mm-hmm.
Fresno State. You have
Air Force,
Yep.
and then go get BYU.
Wyoming's pretty good.
Well, you can't get BYU. BYU's in the Big 12.
Yeah, they're in the Big 12 now.
No.
You're not pulling a team out of the Big 12 to go to the Pac.
No,
That's not happening.
Wyoming be a good one.
No, but there's none of this.
No,
the Pac-12 couldn't get a TV deal when they had USC.
That's true.
right.
Yeah.
I'm just joking. I don't know who they're going to
Yeah.
get. They're going to get Texas. They're going to pull Texas out of the SEC. They're going to go grab Florida State.
But I think I think
Michigan's
they might go after
looking to
like
get out.
Tulane and Memphis. I think they might raid the American type conference teams.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the Pac-12 might be a little bit better than the Mountain West was because Oregon State's going to run it. Jonathan Smith, if he stays, they're going to run that.
He's a good coach.
Yeah, I like him a lot. So,
all right, 2 minutes, Corey.
2 minutes. Okay, so that's going to do it for us here. We hope you enjoyed our show. We hope you enjoy our show each and every week. If you do, hit that subscribe button, bell notification to let you know that we're live, and follow us on all social media platforms. You can find Stephen Willis at Locked On Ole Miss as well. You can find Jake Thomas at Tide Talk Live. You can find me at Bleav In Dawgs. You can find me at Illegal Motion, and then coming soon, you can find me in another location. You will know that. You'll know that information very shortly. But you'll be able to find me somewhere else too. I can't tell you that right now, but you'll be able to find me somewhere else. And Jeb, whenever you finally do a podcast, and you can always find us right here at After Dark Commentary and Reactions. We're going to do some off-season stuff where we break down movies. So we're going to go off the beaten path a little bit. So that's going to be great. So we are SEC
10.
10. We are SEC After Dark, presented by DeadSoxy, Stewart's Cajun Joe Pickles, and betonline.ag. We hope you had a great time. We hope you come back, tell a friend, bring a friend next time, and we'll see you back here better than ever. And as always, until then, go Dogs.
Hotty toddy.
Go Vols.